Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on Solomon's Temple. My name is Uncle Solomon. Full name Solomon Izang Shams. It's so great to have you here. It's a bit chill in Johannesburg, so as you can see, I put on something warm. But thank you so much for joining me on Solomon's Temple. Over here, we get to discuss everything concerning our faith, Christianity, our walk with Christ. What do we learn from leaders? What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? How can we get a personal relationship with God? That's what the temple is all about. So I want to welcome every one of you from around the world. I know you are everywhere. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is important that you subscribe, just so anytime I upload videos or I come live, you're going to be able to have access to it. And also there are other great videos there, resources that I would encourage you to check out. Please check out the videos that are there. It is going to be a blessing to you. So please make sure you subscribe. And when you subscribe, please also click on the notification button, just so anything that happens in here, upload video, live broadcast, you're going to get it. That's important. Also, it will do you a lot more good if you can follow me on social media, Solomon Izang Ashams, on Facebook, Solomon Ashams, on Twitter, and also on Instagram. All right. So I want to thank every one of you for being here with me. Tonight is going to be some sort of a blast from the past. We're going to be looking at the life of a pastor who was sentenced this week to 20 years in prison for violating. If I say violating, you know what I mean. So anytime I say violating, please know what I mean. Sexual violation, which is rape. So, but I'm not going to use that word for the sake of YouTube. I'm not going to use that word quite often. But I say violate, you know what I mean. So this is a case that we've been on since I knew about it September, October 2018, when the victim approached me, reached out to me through her friend, and what happened to her. Twice he violated her. She was 19 when it all happened, got pregnant, and he violated her again. So we're hopefully going to have her here to share her story, because right now we want to find out how she feels. 20 years in prison for this guy who is a very, very powerful, some sort of like influential pastor. I don't want to say powerful. We use that word quite often and we've abused it actually. He is an influential person in KwaZulu-Natal, which is the province in South Africa. For those of you guys who are overseas, this is where you find Durban, the province where you find Durban. And he's from Ulundi, not really from Ulundi, around that area. And he has a church, married, has a ministry, and influential to the point that he preaches on national radio station. There's the biggest radio station in South Africa. It's called Ukhozi FM. And he preaches on that radio station. And I remember one time the victim sent me a message and she said, "Look, Solomon, anytime I listen to him preaching on radio, I feel like taking my life. I feel like depressed, because this is the same man who violated me over and over again." So we're going to go into that, and we're hopefully going to have her join us very soon as we talk about it just after my introduction. Hello, Nunkunwab Tati. Thank you so much. Kitman Sport. Where is that, Tati? Kitman Shop. Never heard of it. Okay, here we got Temba actually confirmed it. He said, yes, he's from Ulundi, D section, I heard. So that's a confirmation. The pastor who was sentenced to 20 years from in prison by the regional court in Ulundi this week. He's actually based in Ulundi, section D section, according to Temba, from what he heard. Okay, we got Uganda. in the house. Alex Kiaga. Thank you. Glatzo, all the way from Limpopo. Thank you so much. Bonisi Le from Durban. Great to have you here. Ufuoma, thank you so much from PH. That's what we call it, Port Harcourt. Thank you so much for being here. I've been there once. Can you believe it? I'm Nigerian, but I've only been to Port Harcourt once. Malipa saying hello, Malume. So I'm watching from Pretoria. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Really appreciate it. Let me see some of the people that are here also. We got Swaziland, M Shades from Swaziland. M Shades from Swaziland, James from Zambia. Thank you. We got Bongani from Nelspruit, as usual. Nelly is raining this side Kau, So Nelly is Zulu, but she's learned some Hausa words, which is one of the languages I speak from Nigeria. And Kau is uncle, for those of you guys who would want to learn some Hausa. Letitia, thank you from Boxburg. Appreciate every one of you guys. Ruvimbo is saying 20 years in prison. Yeah. I mean, for what he did to her. Selby from Guyana. That Guyana, I've heard so much story about that Guyana. We need to bring out and investigate certain people there. We should do that. I've been getting reports from around Tohoyando and Guyana. Abel from Botswana, thank you. Sepo, connecting from Tokyo. Are you in Tokyo, Sepo? Are you there for the Olympics? Where's Sepo? He's here. Are you there for the Olympics, or you're based there studying or working? Pendo, you're from Djibouti. Are you for real that you're from Djibouti? Wow. Quite a lot of people, diverse people. South Africans also are all over the world now. Theopolina from Bintuk in Namibia. Thank you. Pulukwani is in the house. Peter Marisburg Lingisa is here. Lungisa. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hamos Kral, Pulukwani, Cape Town, Mamelodi, Nelspruit, Switzerland. Brilliant. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Anyway, let me just go ahead and do a bit of introduction to the story before my guest. She's gonna join me very soon. You see, when you're a pastor, when you're a bishop, or when you're an apostle, it's a position of authority, and also it's a position of trust. God trusted you with that position, and the people also trust you because you're in that position. So when you are there, young people trust you, they look up to you. Older women trust you. Older men trust you. You're going to lead them. You're going to guide the younger people. The community trusts you. The government also trusts you. So it is important. It is important for us to talk about that. So there's no time to abuse your position. And what we've seen lately is a lot of abuse of such position. You have a position, especially in a church, where people do not ask a lot of questions, where it's easy to manipulate people not to ask questions. And we now abuse our authority. We abuse the position. Now you're going to be accountable to God first. And then you also have to be accountable to the people, the law of the land. You have to be accountable to it. For you to go out there and do certain things, it's not really appropriate, right? It's not really appropriate at all. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But some not so good news coming from Nigeria some hours ago this afternoon, where, if you remember, Ada Jesus, the girl that I spoke about, who is a Nigerian comedian who was allegedly cursed by some spiritualist, not even some fake prophet. She's passed away. She passed away today, sadly. She was just 22, and she had kidney problems. That is why. So she had I think she had a stroke, or was it heart attack, earlier this afternoon, and she passed away. So may her soul rest in peace. Yeah. So here's a statement, a media statement that was released by the South African Police Service, Office of the Provincial Commissioner from the KwaZulu-Natal province in South Africa. It was released yesterday. So but in the statement they said yesterday, so which was Tuesday. Is it Monday or Tuesday? I think. The Ulundi Regional Court sentenced Pastor Sisiso Gerald Nyatikazi, who is 40 years of age, to 20 years imprisoned for 2 counts of rape. This is after the accused, who was also a spiritual guardian to the 19-year-old victim, violated her while at his house. During 2018, the pastor lured the victim into his home and violated her. He instructed the victim not to tell a soul about the whole ordeal, since it was going to destroy his reputation as a pastor. The victim, who was traumatized, told no one and continued going to church like nothing happened. The pastor, who was trusted to pray for the victim as she was not feeling well, violated the victim again while they were attending another church service at Washbank in 2018. Tired of being silent, she reported the incident to her family, who were shocked to hear such news. A case of rape was opened at Ulundi police station, and the docket was transferred to the Ulundi Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit for further investigation. The accused was arrested and made several court appearances until he was convicted and sentenced. Official media statement from the South Africa Police Service. So that's what it is, and it has already been catching fire already. The news is spreading on social media and also media platforms across South Africa. This is the Time newspaper. So this is the headline that they have: KZN pastor sentenced to 20 years for what he did. So it's all in the news now. People are taking it and talking about it. And also we have this is Isolezwe. It's a Zulu newspaper, and you can see the caption there that was circled in blue. That is basically in Zulu, Umfundisi. You can see Umfundisi there. That's on the front page, talking about the same issue. Now, who is this Pastor Sisiso Gerald Nyatikazi? This is Pastor Sisiso. This is how he looks like. That's who he is. Some of you guys might recognize him. Some of you may not know him, but it's all good. And like I said, he is married, and he's been married for quite a while with children. That's him and his wife there in church, supposedly praising God. So we're talking about someone who gets invited across the province, across some part of South Africa, someone who's well respected, someone who goes and conducts crusades, someone who's on radio, so obviously they know him. So we're talking about somebody who definitely has some sort of influence in his community, and it's important to know that there are other so-called men of God that would also do the same thing, or who are doing the same thing, right? There are other so-called men of God who do the same thing, or who are doing the same thing, which is sad, because I've met quite a couple of, anyway, Let me just show a bit of photos of him and his family, his wife also. I've met quite a lot of so-called men of God, or I've met a lot of young girls that become victims of these people. I've met women, married women, single women, young women who have also become victim of these people, which is very, very sad, when you hear something like this. So I'm waiting for Pam to log in just so we can have this interview. She's trying to tell me she's trying to. Let me just send her a message. Okay, she's coming in. She's here. Okay, I can see her, but she just need to connect her mic and her camp. Pam, can you hear me? Can you see me? I can see you. Just click on your mic. Click on your... Okay, you go out again. Okay, let me see. Maybe I can help you. Oops. Log in again. So we have quite a lot of situation where we have seen more and more of that rampantly. And you see, when you have one conviction like this of a man of God who has done these things, and the police acted, the courts acted, everybody acted, the community acted, then you can have then you can have confidence in the system. And you're going to be able to, you're going to be confident that, the victims are really going to be able to have hope, because a lot of them don't even want to go open a case because they feel like there's no hope. They don't have a chance because these guys are influential, these guys have money and all that kind of thing. It was in 2018 that Pam, the victim, got in touch with me, with her friend, I remember, Noklankla, and shared this story. And they shared the story with me. This is what happened. I said, okay, come over. I listened to their story, met them, connected them to the CRL Commission. And the CRL Rights Commission actually helped out also in really escalating this issue. I had to get the case number right and get everything right. And the advocate, or the what do you call it? Let me just tell how to download. Just download this. So you get that kind of situation. And when she reached out, we did everything possible. I remember we actually had we actually did a mini documentary. The BBC approached me to do a mini documentary. The BBC approached me to do a mini documentary around her life, what happened to her, and we did. We did. We now had I think I can actually even let me even look for the documentary, because the documentary is online. So I can let me see. Yeah. Just because you're in church doesn't mean you're not going to be taken advantage of by a pastor. So let me just see. I can actually post it here for you, so you can some of you guys can watch it. So this is a mini documentary that we did just around the church and the false prophets and wherever. That's a mini documentary here. So if you want to watch it, you can just go ahead and watch it. I'm actually talking to Pam. No, it's not switched off. Let's see if I can get her. If I cannot get her on camera, then I would have to maybe just connect with her on the phone, so we can just talk to her. You can hear her voice, basically. So let me see. But I think the most preferred thing is to have her on camera. So she's trying, and I'm also trying on this side, just so we can, we can see her, we can speak to her. That's very important. So let's give it another try again. But like I was saying, there was times where she felt like giving up, because members of his church were attacking her left, right, and center. Anytime she goes to court, they are attacking her, abusing her, cursing her. They'll get her phone number, and call her, intimidate, threatened her, all sort of things. You would never have imagined that this was going to happen to this person. And I like the fact that it happened. It didn't take 7 years or 10 years for the court to, to make a judgment. So that if you have a story, if you have a not so good experience with any man of God, and you're thinking judgment is not going to come your way, judgment can come your way. God is going to vindicate you. God is going to make you. He's going to make everything. Okay. She's going to try to use her mom's phone. That's better. I'm sure she can get through with that. So that's and I like the fact that her family also supported her. I like the fact that her family also supported her. Sometimes as families and friends, when a woman has been violated or when somebody has been taken advantage of by a man of God, instead of listening to them and understanding them and supporting them, we immediately switch and take the side of the so-called man of God. It doesn't work that way. You have to, even if you don't believe their story, you have to give them a chance. That's what it is. Believe them until you get to a place where the evidences or what they say doesn't add up and isn't believable anymore. That's how you should treat these things. But immediately we just take sides and we begin to even go behind the scene and report these people who have been violated or been victimized one way or the other. We report them to, we go back to the pastor and report it. And now the person begins to be treated as, they begin to treat that person like an outsider. That's not right. That's not right. So we have to get to a place where we cannot tolerate. We cannot tolerate it. Yeah, I agree with you, Sobinelo. When someone says they've been raped, just believe them. Believe them until that's the best way, because somebody would not just wake up and just say, no, they did this to me. I know maybe one or two women have done that, but it doesn't just happen. Believe them until you get to a place where it's not believable. But most times, we don't even want to believe them. We don't even want to give them a chance. And that's the problem. That's where the problem is, when we don't even want to give them a chance. And there are so many of them. So I'm talking to people who, women who have been violated before, or you've been violated yourself by this man of God. Get in touch with me. This story of Pamela is an encouraging and inspirational story. In spite of the backlash, she never gave up. She kept going. She kept going. She kept going. At one point, she thought like just throwing away everything, but she refused. All right. So Pamela is joining us now, finally. Hello, Pam.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine.
Finally, you joined us. Are you using your mother's phone?
Yes, I'm using my mother's phone still, but I don't see camera, but it's fine.
No, look over there. There's camera there. All you need to do is just to click the camera.
I'm trying to click, but still.
Still.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know
Why?
why
You switch on the other phone, right?
you switch on the other phone, right?
Yeah, I did.
So that's why I can hear myself echoing.
So that's why I can hear myself echoing.
Oh,
So you
Okay.
need to switch off the phone that you're not using.
So you need to switch off the phone that you're not using.
Okay, let me switch off. Do you still hear yourself?
No.
No.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
I can still hear myself, but very faint.
I can still hear myself, but very faint.
Yeah. But I see you.
You of course you would see me. Well, we had wanted to see you, but it's fine. Since you can't get
Since you can't get
the camera right. But you need to switch on that. You need to switch off that phone, or you need to come out of the program from that phone, because I can still hear myself
because I can still hear
repeating myself.
repeating myself.
Okay, wait. Can you still hear yourself?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I can still hear myself, but
I can still hear myself. But
yeah, I can still hear
Well, I
myself.
don't know
Yeah, I
why.
can
Like
still hear
I've switched off this phone. It's off now.
Or you switch it off already.
you switched it off already.
Yes, it's off.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
Anyway,
let me see.
let me see.
Sure, it's not my phone. Anyway,
It's not my phone.
let's let's just manage and start. I think there's quite a lot of people that have been waiting. So let's just hit it going. So Pam,
Yes.
this is about 3 years later now. You finally got justice.
Yes.
The pastor who violated you a few days ago was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Pastor Nyatekazi.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
How do you feel about it?
I'm happy. It, I'm so happy I can say, though there is no imprisonment that can erase rape pain, but I'm happy. 20 years, it's fine with me because he's away from me. So yeah, I'm happy.
How does that happen? Tell us about how you met him and how he became your pastor and how he took advantage of you.
Met him and how he became your pastor and how he took advantage of you.
Okay. It was 2012 when I first saw him. We met through a family friend
Okay,
who is
just
also a
hold
pastor
on.
back in
Hold on.
KZN.
Okay, just
Hold on, Pam. Pam, can you log out and then log in again?
Hold on, Pam.
Okay.
Can you log out and then log in again?
Okay.
Yes, just so we can get the echo out, and also maybe your camera, you can get the camera click on.
Yes, just so we can get the echo out, and also maybe your camera, you can get the camera click on.
All right. Sorry, guys. We need to sort this out. Part of the part of some of the, what do you call it? Part of the technical things that we need to sort out. But we're going to try to do that now. I'm going to try to do that now as soon as she comes in. And hopefully it's going to be better. Hopefully there's not going to be echo. And also hopefully she's going to be able to switch on her camera just so we can speak to her. But yeah, so it's, I'm glad that she's happy. You know, I'm glad that after all that she's been through, you know, like she said, 20 years is not going to erase the pain that was inflicted on her by this man. But at the same time, at least she knows that he's far away from her. And he's not just far away from her alone, but he's far away from other girls. Because I'm sure she's not the only person. There are other people, but because of the pressure, when the court case was going on, even before the court case, they now decided to withdraw the case, so which is really quite sad. But Pam is back with us. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, though we cannot see you. So we get back to where you were explaining to us. How did you meet this pastor? What sort of role was he playing in your life? And how did he get to a place where he violated you?
Okay. We met back in, it was 2012 when I first saw him. We met through a family friend who is also a pastor from KZN. And then first time he was preaching, it was a revival, and then it went on. I keep on seeing him on different revivals, whole night prayers. He'll be praying for people, um, like doing miracles and whatnot. So when time went by, I had problem, like I couldn't sleep at night. I was having bad dreams, blood, water, and I couldn't sleep. Like I had nightmares. And then I asked for prayer. I was 17 years, if I'm not mistaken. By then it was 2014 or so, 17 or 16, yeah. And then by that time, he prayed for me, and then even gave a word of prophecy. And then we became close from there, because I did not have a father. My father was in prison back then. Like, I did not know him. I only knew that he was alive, but he was in prison. So he played a part of being a father in my life. He mentored me. He was a father I never had, like a loving father I never had. So that's how we get to know each other, and we became more and more close. He was like my biological father, yeah. That's how we met.
So your role, I mean, getting to know him and getting closer to him was just not a role of somebody
I
who's
mean,
a
getting to know him and getting closer to
spiritual.
him was just not a role of somebody who's a spiritual.
I can hear that echo again.
I can hear that
All
echo
right.
again.
Oh, I don't know why.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see.
Okay. Let me see. Um, Hi, Pam. Can you hear me? Hi, Pam. Can you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is, but I'm gonna make my questions. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm
Mm.
now.
gonna make my questions short. And,
So he wasn't just a spiritual father.
so he wasn't
He was
just a
like a father
spiritual
to you
father.
because your father
He
was in
was
prison.
he was like a father to you because your father was in prison.
Yes, yes. He was not just a spiritual father. He was a mentor, a father, a pastor. Like, he was, yeah. He played a huge part in my life. Yeah, I can say.
So you get to meet him and you also get to meet his wife and family.
So you get to meet him, also get to meet his wife and family.
Yeah, I met his wife. I met his. By then, he had only one daughter, so I met her daughter, his daughter, and in-laws, a wife. Like, I met everyone, and they loved me, all of them. So I met everyone. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Uh,
Mm.
Um,
and his church,
and his church.
how often do you go to the church?
How often do you go to the church?
I used to go when was it? I used to go during holidays, December time, and okay, there was a time when he called me to come and attend some services. I think it was twice or so. I went there. He wanted me to give some testimony. I went there. Yeah, we normally go when it was Sunday during December times. Yeah, on holidays. Yeah,
But for a young woman like
But
you,
for
why
a
did
young
you trust
woman
him enough?
like you, why did you trust him enough?
he was a man of God. He was a man of God. He looked so trustworthy, and he acted so innocent. And I trusted him so much. And I was very young. I was just a girl because I was 16 or 17 by then. So I trusted him so much. Yeah,
And tell
I
us
can
about that.
say.
I think was it night when he first violated you.
And tell us about that violated you.
Mm. Okay, it was December. Yeah, it was 2016. Um, he called me during the year saying, "How are you, my daughter? It's been a while. I haven't seen you for a while." And then I said, "I'll see you on December," because I was here in Joburg. And then when I was in KZN, up and down because my brother was stabbed. And yeah, and then he said, "I'll see you soon." I said, "Okay, it's fine." Then there was this night when he called me and said, "I'm around your area. So can I see you?" It was late. I said, "Okay, it's fine." And then he came, he called me and said he was outside. When he saw me, he was so happy. And I was to see my father. We talked, and then he said he was on his way to get some petrol. And then I said, "Okay, cool." He said, "Can we go and check if um we can get a petrol again?" I said, "Okay, fine." We went to town, and when we get there, the queue was very long because it was December time, and our town is so small. And then he decided that let's just go to Ulundi, and then we'll come back. I said, "I can't go to Ulundi. Like Ulundi is far from home, so like now my parents are sleeping and they think we are sleeping. How can I just go, you know?" And he said, "No, the angels are with us. We will come back just now. Nothing will happen to you." Like he convinced me, and I said, "Okay, it's fine." We went to Lundi. Um, while he was driving, we are just talking. He was talking about spiritual things, yeah, here and there in the Bible. And then I think after an hour, no, after 20 to 30 minutes, um, yeah, he, okay, sorry. After 20
No,
to 30 minutes,
Pam, do you have
while he was driving,
No,
yeah,
Pam,
do
do you
you
have a
have
head? Do you have headphones? Can you put on headphones if you have headphones
do you have headphones? Can you put on headphones if you have headphones
or
okay,
earphones?
or earphones?
okay,
Trying to eliminate.
Trying to eliminate.
do you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Do you hear me?
can you
Yes,
hear
I can
me?
hear you. Can
Yes,
you
I
hear
Yes,
do.
I
me?
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Uh, is your phone on
Is your
loudspeaker
phone on loudspeaker?
or what?
No,
Or
I'm using
Okay,
headset now.
okay,
something is definitely wrong,
Hello?
but
something is definitely
it's
wrong.
fine.
But
Go ahead.
it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. He did not go to the garage as he was promising that he was going to get some petrol. Um, the next minute, I saw his car. It was parked at his house, and then he went off and came back and called me, and I was like, "No," and he was busy calling me, and then he opened the door and said he wants to talk to me. Okay, I said, "Okay, fine." We went inside his house. Then we started talking. He asked me, How am I? I said I'm fine, and he started asking like questions, like personal questions. I can say yeah, because he asked me when last did I have sex, and am I using any pill to prevent pregnancy, and do I have a boyfriend? And he started telling me that his wife is not around. He went to Muntu with the whole family. I said, okay, cool. And I said, no, you know what? I want to go home. He said, okay, you will go just now. Can we just talk a little bit? And I'm having a heartburn. He said, okay, I'll sort it out. Stood up and go to a kitchen and came back with some liquid. Something was liquid like water. Uh, I don't know what was inside, but it was liquid, yeah. And then he gave me those words. It was water or a drink, I don't know. And then he gave me that and said it will help me for heartburn. And then I drank it. I said, oh, this thing, it's so sour. And he said, no, finish it so that you can go. I said, okay, fine. After that, like I was hearing him, but it was like he's so far from me. And then
After you drank what he gave you.
yeah, after some minutes, like I had a blackout,
You had a
and I
blackout
can't
after you
remember.
drank what he gave you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I couldn't hear or feel anything. But what I remember is I woke up and he was next to me. He was naked. I was also naked, and I was full of sperm. I was sweating,
So he gave you a
and I
drink
started asking
because you have
questions
a
like, "What
heartburn.
happened?" Yeah.
Because you have a heartburn, you
Mm.
drank, and then
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
started, your brain started going around, and you blacked out. You woke up, you were naked, he was naked on top of you, and there was sperm all over your body.
Mm. He was not on top of me, but next to me.
Okay.
Like we were in bed, and he was next to me, and we were both naked, but he had a towel on top of him and sweating. And then when I started asking questions, he told me that he is my father. He told me that he is my father, and even if he did not do this, I would have said yes to have sex with me.
Mm.
Yeah, I would have said yes, and he told me that media is scared of him, the police are scared of him, and he is a man of God. I've seen him doing miracles, um, and I'm his daughter. Like everything that have happened, it was the will of God. And and he said I should stop crying and go to bath. And that's exactly what I did. I went to bath and he took me home. And along the way we went to garage and he gets something for me. He said it will help me for not getting pregnant. And then
Mm.
after that he took me home. Yeah. Then yeah, I think a month or so, no, during the week, I told them that I'm still wondering what happened, and I I'm so confused. Sorry, I'm
Mm.
so confused, and yeah, I really want to know what happened, because it was so devastating and confusing at the same time. He said it was the time went by and I found out that I was pregnant.
So you found out that you were
I told him
pregnant
that I'm
from
pregnant.
that incident.
Yes. Yeah. Then I told him that I'm pregnant. He said, I told him that I want to have abortion. And he said,
Okay.
I can't have abortion since he's a man of God. Yeah. He's a man of God. I should just get a guy that I would sleep with and say this is his child, because I can't abort since he's a man of God. And I remember, okay, there was some event, not an event, but a movement. There was a church service that was in KZN. My parents and I were going there, and he asked me if I was coming. I said yes. And he said, okay, my daughter, listen, we have to talk about that pregnancy and whatnot. I said, okay, it's cool. When I got there, he was busy calling me and asking that have a service started already. I said yes. And then I went to sleep because I wasn't feeling well. I was 4 to 5 months by that time. And he called me, it was around 2 to 3 a.m. He said he's outside. I went there. Um, it just drove off to. He just drove off and went under the bridge. When he got there, we started talking and asking me that, what will I do? That guy's so arrogant and he's so full of himself. Like, when someone just talk and he doesn't care. And he was like, yo, you are really pregnant. Wow, so you have to get a guy that you will sleep with and tell him that this is his pregnancy, because you can't say this is my child, because I'm a man of God and touch not the anointed one. And he told me that I should protect him as my father and I should protect him as a man of God. He's an apostle and was anointed by God and was called by God. And he started touching me, saying, "Yo, you're really pregnant," and he went outside of the car because I was at the back and he was in front. He came to me. He was pushing me and forcing himself. Then he violated me because he had power over me. I
So he
started
did that
crying.
again for the
So he
second
did that
time whilst you were
again
pregnant.
for the second time whilst we were pregnant. Yes, he just did it again.
In the car under the bridge.
In the car under the. Yeah, it was in the car at the back.
Hmm.
And then he told me that it was the will of God, and it's his first time doing this. Sometimes the will of God is painful. That's what I should understand after everything that has happened in my life. I should be understanding by now that the will of God is so painful. He took me back and told me to wipe off the tears and took me back where we were sleeping. And afterwards, I was drowning into depression. I was, I felt like the whole world is against me, and I wanted to die so hard. I was bruised, I was heartbroken, and I was bleeding. I left church and I left everything behind. I wanted to start afresh and start my own life, but I couldn't because I was pregnant and I decided to have abortion. I went to clinic. They said they can't help me since I was already close to 5 months. I then went for safe clinic, safe abortion. I went for safe abortion, and they gave me 2 pills to use. The one is you just take it under your tongue, and the other one you just take it. Yeah, they. And then I saw my baby. It was it was so hard. Like it was so hard. Um, and then after that, I used to hear voices. I used to hear babies crying. I used to hear many voices, people screaming, and I would hear myself screaming. But like there was a lot of noise and there was a lot of things happening in my life. I used to cut myself. I tried committing suicide more than 5 times to 10 times because I really wanted to die. Afterwards, I attended a psychologist. They told my mom to go to clinic and get a letter from social workers. And then he got a letter from social worker. He took me to a psychologist. I went to psychologist and I started attending in psychologist. And afterwards, because this thing was bothering me, I was drowning in depression. Um, that's when I started calling you. I got your number from Facebook. I called you and I told you everything. And I told my mom. And I told some mom from the church. And then I told you. You advised me to, excuse me, to open a case. And then we did. Afterward, they took me to the doctors to check me, and I started attending in psychologist again. They took me to psychiatrist because my condition went to being worse. And then that's when I was diagnosed with depression, manic depression, and I started taking treatment. I attended my case from there. I remember trying to call the pastor's wife. He told me that I was lying. Like this thing has happened so many times. Girls trying to lie for his
Hmm.
husband, for her husband.
That's what the pastor's
Yeah,
wife told you when you told her what happened.
yeah, that's what she said. And then he blocked my calls, my messages, and everything.
Hmm. So I remember you got in touch with me and I advised you to open a case because all this while you didn't
Yeah.
open a case. And then you opened the case. You
Yeah.
sent me the case number. That is around
Yeah.
2018.
Yes. Yeah, it was around 2018 when I opened my case and they started investigating, and my case was approved. It went to court. And when we got to court, he said he doesn't know me, and the wife said she knows me. And yeah, it's all started there. Yeah,
How was the whole court process and also the legal side of things for you and the attacks that you got from members of his church?
yo, court, yo, it's draining. So draining. Like they drag you there. They don't care how you feel, and they don't care about your emotions, about they don't care how you feel or what happened to you. They just ask some question, especially his lawyer, and his congregation was always there to support him. They would laugh at me, mock. When I started testifying, they would just laugh, and I felt like I was a fool. They would just laugh at me, um, but still, I would testify, though though I would feel so small there, but still I'll testify. And they used to send messages. Some were using fake accounts, some were using their accounts. They would post. They used to post. They would tell me that it's not over. Others would say I'm lying for a man of God, a prophet of God. Others would say I'll die. Touch not the anointed one. They would tell me to go drop the charges because what I'm doing is wrong and I'm lying for a man of God. Yeah, they would send different messages calling me with names. It was so hard. Like, Solomon, it was hard. I won't lie to you. This journey, there was a time where I tried committing suicide. When I was attending a case, I would call my advocate and tell him that I want to drop the charges because I felt so intimidated by everything. It would come with a lot of people there, people with scars, scary people. So I was so scared. Even people who had to testify for me just drop out without telling me. I had no support. I think only my family was supporting me, and I was also scared for my family because I did not know what he would do because I would get calls. They'll be like, "Hi, this is your friend so and so. Where are you?" They always tried getting my location where I am. They used to ask people where I am, and I would be called by different people saying, drop the charges at least, let's sit down and talk. He would pay the damages and everything. But I told myself that this man has already killed me, so why am I scared now? Because I felt like I'm being raped every day. My mind was so traumatized. Like I was like, my mind is being raped each and every day. Although I knew that there's no imprisonment that would erase the rape pain, what I went through, the pain I went through, nothing will erase it. And there is nothing that would take away that pain. But I want him to know what he did to me was so painful and I was suffering. And telling my story while he was there, it's kind of brought some closure because afterwards I was relieved. It was like some burden was taken away from me. Um, yeah, it was so traumatizing
Mm.
and scary, but I pushed and I went through. And though it was not promising that I would win a case, since everyone just dropped me out, like people were going to testify, but I pulled through. And an advocate was pushing for me. He said I should, and I did not till he was evicted and he was sentenced. I was so happy. I was so happy, though there've been messages, they've been threatening me and saying a lot of things. They are supporting their dad and whatnot. But the support I was getting, I did not care what they say and how they feel. So yes, that's my story.
Mm. Mm. There's just a lot of support for you on Facebook right now and YouTube.
Yeah.
It's almost 700 people, close to 700 people watching.
Yeah.
As no Monday is saying, I am glad you got closure.
Thank you.
I am in tears now because of the pain you went through. And secondly, I remember when you called me, I had to insist you go and open a case with the police.
Yes, you did.
If you had not opened a case, this man would have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
And that was why I had to insist. Go open a case and send me the case number.
Yeah.
Even when we met, go open a case. I said, go open a case. So when people see what I do, they don't know the behind the scenes sometimes. They think it's just for me to come here and talk about this.
Yeah.
But the pain that you and your family, I know your mother have been supporting you.
Yeah. She did.
How did that affect your family?
My family was affected because I introduced them to him and they used to to offer many things. Like he would call them to ask some money. Um, when he's hosting some revivals, so he would call them and said like he needs something like this and that, and they would give because they trusted him. Like they've seen him in my life and brought some changes. So it's affected them more, especially because they attended one movement and they used to see him. So it's affected them so much. Yeah, but they've been so supportive a lot. Yeah.
During your case,
During
the
your
girls who
case,
were
the
supposed to
girls who were
testify
supposed
for
to
you,
testify for you,
they refused to.
they
Why?
refused to. Why?
Okay, first time they said yes, they would testify, and the other one said she can't testify because she was raped before, so it brings some lot of memories, pain, and everything, but she would just support me. She can't testify, like she's not fit enough. And I said, okay, it's fine. And my other best friend said, okay, I would testify because she was there when this pastor fetched me from home, and she knew everything because I told her everything from like she was the first person I told my story. The in the same week, yeah, or a second week, I can't remember. So when she was supposed to testify, okay, she went there and support me maybe 3 times or so. But when she was supposed to go and testify, she was nowhere to be found. When I call her, she would say, no, they called me and I'm waiting for them to fetch me because I can't just go to KZN alone. I need them to get me here and so that I can have protection and whatnot. And the police will come here and fetch her, but she won't answer her call. She won't answer her phone. Um, but still, I don't know why. Even if I ask her now, she doesn't tell me why.
What sort of evidences
What
did you
sort of
present
evidences
against?
did you present against?
Uh, the thing I presented was I told them that on December after Christmas, when we came back from the pastor's wife, we went to garage. So my advocate tried getting some CCTV footage. That's the only that's the only thing I had, like, because there was no messages and whatnot, and just that there were other girls who were also violated by him. So they came forth, but when they had to open cases and everything, they just did not. So the thing that got them into trouble was their testimony, because the wife said she knows me, but the pastor
Hmm.
says he doesn't know me, like he have never seen me ever before. So that's how everything got them into trouble, and yeah, their testimony.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How does your family feel
How
about
does
it
your
now?
family feel about it now?
Mm, excuse me. They are so happy. They're so happy. My mother is so happy, and my grand, like everyone, they are happy and they are so supportive. Like they're making sure that I'm fine. They keep on checking me and they ask me how I feel about the sentence and everything. Even my stepdad is so supportive. So they're all supportive and they are happy. Yeah. The only worry they have is the congregation, since they are sending some messages and whatnot, but they are happy.
How would this help you to
How would
heal?
this help you to heal?
I've found closure. I've always wanted to get some closure. And now this is a new chapter, and I'm hoping and I believe that I would heal, like completely heal along the way. But since he's in jail, I'm sure and I do believe that I will be fine, like completely heal.
Hmm. There are many girls that have been in your
There are
situation but
many
don't want
girls
to
that
speak
have been
out.
in your situation but don't want to speak out.
They're afraid.
They're afraid.
What sort of advice would you give them?
What sort of advice would you give them?
I would say they should come forth, like open a case, make some noise, use media, use social platforms. Making noise helps a lot. Writing
Hmm.
everything on social media, it does help because you get some attention from many people. They will come and want to help, and even if they will try to bribe or do anything, they just can't because of noise that is being made. So I'll just say, come forth, open a case, fight for your rights, fight for justice. Like everything will be fine.
Hmm. There are so many messages here. I can't wait. I cannot read all of them because of
There are
the
so many
echo.
messages here. I can't wait. I cannot read all of them
Um,
because of the echo.
Okay.
Um,
is there anything you want to say, Palm, in conclusion?
is there anything you want to say, Pam, in conclusion? Pamela?
No, I would just want to say thank you, Solomon. Like, thank you so much for helping me, for being supportive, asking each, like every week, like, how is your case? How is everything? And pushing everything, taking me to CRL, to attend Shelley Zonde's foundation, um, to like everything. Like, thank you so much.
Hmm.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hmm. No, thank you for staying strong. Thank you for persevering.
No, thank you for staying strong. Thank you for persevering.
And may God bless you. I wanted to pray for
And
you, but there's so much
may God
echo.
bless you. I wanted to pray for you, but there's so much echo.
Um,
Mm.
but I speak God's blessing over your life, and you
I
will
speak
find
God's
healing,
blessing over your life, and you will find healing,
and you will take this pain and turn it around by the
and you
grace
will
of
take
God
this pain and
into
turn it
something
around
positive.
by the
And
grace
we
of
thank
God
God for
into
justice.
something positive. And we thank God for justice.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pam. God bless you. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you, Pam. God
Okay.
bless you. Have a good evening.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. That's Pamela right there. You know, when she was sharing her story, I was tearing. I was in tears because I just thought of the pain that this young girl had been through. I remember when she called me in 2018, where all I was telling her is, she said me she hadn't opened a case. About a year later, she hadn't opened it. I said, go open a case. I said, have you opened a case? She said, no. I said, no, go open the case now. And I want you to go open the case and send me the case number. This same case. She went, opened the case. I said, what did they say? They wanted to give her trouble. I said, no, speak to them this way. They opened the case. They sent her an SMS first to let her know that she's opened the case, but they will send her a case. Normally they send you the case number via SMS. They send it to her and then she sent it to me. I said, okay, now we're starting. So you could imagine if I had not even answered her or pay attention to her, because I get a lot of this, like every week I get a lot of these things, to be honest with you. I cannot even keep up with it because I'm a broadcaster. My advocacy is broadcasting, not to counsel people, not to give people legal advice. That's not my strength. And a lot of people will keep asking, now you've been doing this against all this, you've been talking about these pastors and these prophets and all that. What, even when I have interviews, say but nothing has happened to them. But this is something happened in this case, 20 years in prison. 20. I've been on this case close to 3 years now, since 2018. Back and forth and back and forth. She had nobody. And it's not just about me, it's about also you guys. When you hear other women bring this kind of situations and issues, how would you advise them? Because it's only together, if we play our role together, helping these victims, that's the only way we can see justice. Not just Solomon, not just one person or 2 people or 10 people. No, each and every one of you has a role. Even if you're not going to help them through the process, but support them. Support them with your prayer, support them financially. That's why you see, I keep telling you, that's why you see all these charlatans coming after me now. They're suing me now. I have legal costs. That's why when I come to you and say, look, I need to raise some money for my legal costs, it's because they know they're trying to stay away from jail. They're trying to stay away from facing the truth. Some of them are trying to stay away from their reputational damage because they know what they have done. If I keep exposing it, is going to damage their reputation, their brand, their church. So they come after me with legal cases. And it's not easy. I have to be honest with you. If I have to pick some sort of a job to do, because this is more like my job now, I wouldn't do this. It's because you don't know me. I'm a peacemaker. But you see, when there is injustice and abuse, that's when I get holy anger. Enough is enough, people. Enough is enough. We cannot just continue like this. We cannot just continue like this. And like I said, there are so many cases like this that I deal with behind the scene that I don't even get to tell you about it. Next week, Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to expose what Johnson Suleiman did to get an apology from his pastor that said Suleiman took his wife. I'm going to play you an audio evidence to show you that Johnson Suleiman paid 60,000 US dollars. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to play you an audio to show you that both him and the pastor, what's his name? Mike Davids, they settled that and money exchanged hand. But Mike Davids came to me and he was lying. I would expose him. I gave him 3 weeks. He said I should give him 2 weeks, to sort it out, to tell people the truth about what happened between him and Suleiman, why he suddenly kept quiet. This is 8 weeks now. He hadn't done anything about it. So I've given him his opportunity. But I want to encourage you to keep supporting what I do. You know I have a legal case and it's going on, and I would appreciate your support. There's a lot of money that I need for my legal issues. So the monies that you support me with is helping me to talk to people like them, Palm, go to them, visit them, buy stuff for them. There's stuff that we do that I don't have to talk about it here, just for the operations of Solomon's Temple. So please, if you want to keep supporting, please do that. This is the account number. Solomon's Temple needs your support for us to keep doing what we're doing. If you are local, you can use this account number. If you are international, PayPal is the best way. This is the PayPal account. There's so much to be done, and so much resources is needed. Unlike charlatans who you give money to and they use it on themselves, I'm not using this on myself. I'm not that kind of person. I'm transparent enough for you to call me at least maybe twice a year. I could give you access to all the books, finances. But whatever you give go towards the operation of Solomon's temple, and also for legal cases and operations of Solomon's temple. Not just legal cases for me, but legal cases for some of these victims. That's where we want to get to. Do you know this broadcast platform that is actually here, that I have to pay a subscription annually for it? And I've been doing that from my own pocket, hundreds of dollars. But you don't have to say all these things, because you're doing it from a place of love. You can go to GoFundMe. GoFundMe also have a place where they're raising support for me. GoFundMe.com. You can go there and Google and search Solomon Isang Ashams. Then you can make a donation. And you go to GoFundMe, you're gonna see something like this. And you can make a donation. But thank you guys. You see, listening to Pamela, I'd wanted for you to actually see her face, just for you to know that she has turned through the corner. Before now, Pamela wasn't even ready to show her face or her name because of the pain and the shame that she's been through. But now, because of the judgment and the sentence of 20 years in prison for this pastor that violated her, she has the courage to come out. Some of you guys need to go and listen to that interview again. You need to go and listen to this interview again. Listen to what she said, blow by blow. But I'm not going to say much, but I thank you. And may God continue to bless you for your support, not just for me, but for the victims. Let's continue to support them also around your community. If you hear such issues, please pay attention to it. God wants to use you too. In one way or the other, God wants to use you. So thank you, and God bless you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you. May truth be your anchor. May truth be before you and behind you and by your side, on top of you and beneath you, all covered with the truth of God. God bless you and have a wonderful time. Wonderful evening, Razis.